What's up, everybody? Clint Esposito here with MX Bets for Charlotte SMX, and we are going to start off with a look at the track. Now, again, the purpose of this is to basically combine Supercross and motocross tracks. So they did a good job last year. This one is at the drag strip in Charlotte, hence the long layout. They do have something really cool right off of the bat. Opposite starts, so you have half the field. So that means one group of riders gets a left-hand first turn and another group of riders gets a right-hand first turn. I would imagine they're fairly even, so I guess, I don't know, that'll be interesting to see where people choose to go. So like I said, it is a little bit of a mix. There are definitely some long straightaways. Especially this one on the bottom. Look at that. Big sand corner down into this long rhythm section. And then where the start enters, not really the start. It's not the first turn. It's like the third turn in. They also have a lot of little sand sections here. So the short sand section, short corner sand, another corner sand section. And then coming back out into the stadium, you have a really long straightaway. That's a bit confusing. Do they go over top of the starting gates there? Maybe they jump over the starting gates? I'm not sure. We're going to have to see how that actually plays out in real life. And then I like this little jog here in and out. But other than that, looks pretty straightforward, almost Supercrossy. Obviously, they got rid of the whoops, so we just eliminated Malcolm Stewart's advantage. Going right into it, we saw the track pretty Supercrossy, maybe a little more high speed than your average Supercross track, and we're just going to have to see how rough it gets if it breaks down kind of a little bit more like a motocross track. Given the fact that it's just dirt on top of pavement, it's obviously not going to get that deep. So you're only going to it's not going to be full on outdoor 2 foot tall breaking bumps into corners, but it's definitely going to be interesting, especially with the high speeds. Now going into the odds, we're going to run through the top couple. Your safest bet is obviously Jet Lawrence. The odds makers have him favored at negative 285, meaning if you are to risk $20, you're going to win $27. This is the way I believe it, or I understand it. So that means you're going to get 40. They're not going to take your $20 and they're going to give you $27. $27.02, sorry. Second, it's kind of crazy to me. There's such a big jump. Jet is negative 285. Chase Sexton is plus 385. So you would make $97 on a $20 bet. Eli Tomac is plus 673, meaning you would make $154 on your $20 bet. Next is Hunter Lawrence, plus 697. You would make $154 on Tomac, $159 on Hunter. But here's where it gets interesting, because if you really are trying to make some money on this, which, I guess safe bets are fine. Maybe you can double bet. I'm not really sure. But Kenny, we all know, is very good at the beginning of series while he's still fresh. And it is kind of motocrossy, but it's not half an hour outdoors type of motocross. It is during the middle of the day kind of, though. So it's still going to be hot, I'm sure, in Charlotte. But I really think Kenny has a legitimate shot. Obviously, I think maybe something would have to happen for Kenny would have to have a perfect race, and some other people would have to have some issues, I think. But it's not like that's not happened before. You would make $537 if Ken Roczen were to win, and that's a guy with a legitimate chance. Next, you have Cooper Webb. He is plus 2,733. You would make $566 if Cooper were to win. Now, Cooper's obviously coming off of injury, just like Kenny is, although we know, I would say Kenny's probably been on the bike a little bit longer than Cooper has. and he raced that last national. So I think Kenny might be in a good place to upset some people. The other one is Justin Cooper, which it blows my mind. I understand he hasn't won any of these races, but how is Justin Cooper behind RJ Hampshire here? RJ Hampshire is plus 2,867. You would make 595. Justin Cooper is plus 3,313. You would make $682. Another guy with a legitimate chance to win this. I mean, I guess the only factor is it is a two-moto format, so you have to be good twice. It's not just one race, which I think would definitely open it up. But if you wanted to risk some money, I would say Ken Roczen. I mean, I would say Kenny's the real win there if you want to actually try to make some real money on somebody that basically hasn't been racing for a bit. And I guess that's why his statistics are so low. I'm not really sure. But really, any of these guys, Hunter, could happen. I'm amazed at Sexton. I go back and forth. Sexton's really good. He does really well. But he does have weird issues. Hunter's there all the time. And Eli's been a little hit or miss. So to me, Hunter's still a good bet, and you would make 160. Obviously, I like Kenny making $500, but it is what it is. Now we're going to go head-to-head odds. Chase Sexton versus Jet Lawrence. Jet is heavily favorited at negative 420. This is the biggest split here. So if you wanted to put some money on Chase, if you wanted to risk it, Chase could very well beat Jet. It's happened before. And you would make $76 on that bet. Eli Tomac versus Hunter Lawrence, they're fairly similar. You'd make $38 if Tomac beat Hunter. You would make $36 if Hunter beat Tomac. Cooper Webb, Ken Roczen, also very similar. 37 for Cooper, and you'd make $36.95. $37.70 for Cooper, $36.95 for Kenny. Justin Cooper, RJ Hampshire, very similar as well. I don't understand how Justin Cooper and Hampshire are now similar places, especially not in SMX being closer to Supercross. RJ hasn't even ridden any Supercross really on a 450 yet, so I don't know. Malcolm Stewart versus Dylan Ferrandez. I would kind of go Malcolm on this one, even though we don't have the whoop section. I think Malcolm's still a good bet on that one. And SMX Futures, which I don't even understand what this is different than the regular one. But anyway, Jet Lawrence, negative 561. You'd make $23 again. Chase Sexton, if you bet 20, you'd make 103. Hunter Lawrence, 121. Eli Tomac, 171. So I think you could definitely make a little money. I think if Sexton comes out blazing, which it's debatable where he's at headspace-wise with the bike and all the stuff that just happened outdoors. Although in outdoors, he did demonstrate that he is still fast as you know. So I think you could make some money on Sexton as well. Look at this. If Freddie Noren were to win, you'd win $2,700. Probably not going to happen, but just saying. And these are the average finished positions. Jet Lawrence average finished position is 1.5. Chase Sexton is 3.5. Eli Tomac is 4.5. Hunter 4.5. Ken Roczen 6.5. But again, out of those first couple of people, and even Cooper Webb 6.5. But those first six people, any one of them could legitimately win. I do still think your safe money is on Jet. So that's it for the SMX playoffs. Charlotte MX Bets. And again, this podcast is brought to you by Tough Jug. Go to Tough Jug, get your gas can. They have an anti-overfill contraption, invention, whatever you want to call it. You put the tip into your tank. Once the gas gets up to there, it shuts off the flow. And you can get free shipping on your order by using the code 2WHEELS, spelled out, 25. That's it. All right, guys. Thank you.